Update 45 in BTD6 and Blastapopoulos the Demon of the Core boss are back, and I cannot be more excited about this one. So thanks to Ninja Kiwi, we got another early access video for you guys, and today we're going through all of the new features in the upcoming update 45 in Bloons TD 6. So let's just get things started because there is a lot of new content upcoming in the latest update. So first off, we're gonna start with a brand new advanced map which is called Ancient Portal. I want to show you guys these new things like the quests and the map and stuff like that first, and then we're gonna go into Blastapopoulos and we're gonna play a game. But first things first, let's check out the new map called Ancient Portal. So I'm gonna go on Sandbox because this is a really cool one actually. So as you guys can see, the balloons are coming out from the top side and they're walking into the portal, and then once they do, they come out on the other side. Now this map is very interesting for a lot of reasons. So first off, there is definitely some sort of a secret going on this map as in typical Ninja Kiwi fashion. So for example, you can see these 4 moon type of pedestals. So this 1, 2, 3 here in the land, and there's one in the water as well, so I guess you can place towers on them and it does something eventually. And then there are these 4 pieces of paper scattered around the map which have a star, a circle on them, and then there are these tiles which will also coincidentally have, you know, like a star or a circle, whatever it is. So it's definitely something to do with that. And also you can redirect the portal. So for example, if you click here, you can realign the portal for absolutely no cash, which is really nice. And then these balloons are gonna start coming out. Let me just send in a couple of pink balloons. They're gonna start coming out from this left side as well. And obviously this left side, if I get a sniper to show you guys, the left side is closed off. So yeah, it's I don't know how this thing's gonna work. Is it gonna realign by itself like every couple of rounds or something like that? I genuinely have no idea. But yeah, this is the new map called Ancient Portal. Alright, now let's talk about the new quests because we have not 1 but 3 new quests. So let's start with the first one called the One-Sided, in which we need to beat Infernal, but we're only using one side. So you can only place towers on the top half of Infernal and the balloons will only come along from the bottom path. So let me just show you guys how this thing works. As you guys can see, the map is blocked off, so all of these placements in the bottoms, for example this one, the water spot, and all of these, you know, small little islands, they have been blocked off and you can only have towers on the top island. So yeah, the balloons are coming out from the bottom, you can only defend from the top, and you have to play 100 rounds because this is in Populus mode. So this is gonna be a fun quest. Now the second new quest is called 5 minutes of Frozen Over, and it's one of those, you know, type of infinite damage quests in which, well, you guys might remember the phase 1 and the party balloon quest. So this is kind of the same theme as that one. And so in this one we have a score to beat which is 100,000. So let me just hit go and show you guys how this one is going to work. So this quest works exactly like a race. We have a race clock of 5 minutes which just goes down, and so next to the race timer we have this pop count. So the goal of this one is to essentially do as many pops as possible, and then you can manually send in rounds. So obviously the point of this one is to kind of try and balance your defenses while trying to do the most amount of damage in 5 minutes. And yeah, this is one of those infinite quests which we do like a lot. So I'm definitely going to be trying this one out and making videos on all these quests actually. Now the last quest brings a brand new game mode into BTD6, and that game mode is called Fast Track. So let me hit go and let me show you guys what's happening on this one. So you guys might be familiar with the Fast Track game mode, and essentially what this thing does is it allows you to skip 1/4 of the round set of the specific game mode that you're playing. So for example, we're playing on hard difficulty, and in this quest we're starting from round 21. So 1/4 of the rounds, the first 20 rounds, we don't have to play through them. They just gave us the cash anyways. Now the point of this quest is not to be difficult or anything like that, but it is more of a showcase of this Fast Track mode, and that is a nice segue into how you can get Fast Track. This is the brand new redesigned shop which offers a couple of new things. So among those things, well, it's a pets fan pack which I just wanted to show you guys. So all of the pets, which is, I think I count them, it's 38 I think it was, instead of unlocking them through trophies you can just buy them straight up. But the thing that we want to talk about is the Fast Track pack, which includes a couple of things. Now the way the Fast Track mode works is you can start 1/4 of the way into the round count on any map with all the right cash on hand. So obviously if you're starting on easy mode, you're going to start from round 11. If you're starting on medium mode, it's going to be around 16, and so on and so forth. But you cannot use this in any competitive events, chimps, deflation, nor quests, and this is kind of to balance things out, right? Now Fast Track mode in this entire pack is actually a little bit cheaper. It's half the value of double cash mode, and if you ask me, I would actually buy the Fast Track pack instead of double cash mode. Double cash is going to make the game easy, but Fast Track is going to save you a lot of time, so you can kind of decide where you stand on that. But regardless of what you guys are looking to buy, please don't forget to use my code, which is EthanReed, in the Bloons store. It really helps out the channel a lot. And finally, Blastapopoulos the Demon of the Core. Let's play a game. Let's try and beat this guy. I have not touched Blastapopoulos. Actually, I have not played Blastapopoulos because I wanted to do it with you guys. So let me just select like Benji. I think we're going to be selecting just to get a little bit of cash going, and let's start the boss. Oh, look at this one. This is really cool. So you guys can see the smoke on the sides. Yeah, that's really cool. And then these magma type of rocks where the boss is gonna spawn. Alright, let's get this thing started. So Blastapopoulos should be a really fun boss actually. I started our farming going with a bunch of marketplaces, and let's just talk to you guys about what this guy is gonna do, because Blastapopoulos is probably one of the more complicated bosses in BT6. So first things first, Blastapopoulos has the properties of a purple balloon. So that means that just straight up a lot of the towers that we have in BT6 are just not gonna work against him. You know, the first thing that comes to mind is something maybe like the Laser Blast Super Monkey, the Top Hat Darting Gunners. Those guys are just not gonna do anything. Now on top of this mechanic, Blastapopoulos overheats, and so what the overheating does is there's gonna be a bar, by the way, below the Blastapopoulos HP, and so that bar is gonna show us how much the boss is overheating, and the more damage you do, or I should say the faster you do the damage, the more he's gonna overheat. So you want to be planning your damage. You don't want to dish out everything all at once, is what I'm gathering from that. And then also there are a lot of other things happening. So during the fight, apparently our towers are gonna have lower cooldowns, which is really annoying. And then whenever you trigger a skull, he's going to be throwing out these magma, these fireballs, and he's gonna be spawning out these rocks around him. So the fireballs are going to be, I think, slowing the attack speed of our towers and maybe even stunning some of them. And then the rocks that he spawns around him serve as obstacles. So yeah, you're not gonna be able to go through, or I should say projectiles are not gonna be able to go through those guys. Now on top of all this, if Blastapopoulos heats up, he is going to explode, which is gonna stun all towers on screen. I believe he's gonna extend the cooldowns. He's gonna make things attack a little bit slower, I think. And also, for example, these DPS effects, like for example the Dragon's Breath Wizard or something like that, they I think that they fill up the heat bar a little bit faster, and then he also is gonna burn off all of these DPS effects. So really complicated stuff actually. I think this is probably the most complicated boss out of all of them. Oh yeah, and by the way, you can cool him down with an ice tower. So I don't know, guys. There's way too many things happening with this boss. So we actually got the farming star really nicely. So we're gonna try a bunch of stuff versus Blastapopoulos. So tier 1 is coming out in a second. Let's see how we do versus him. Alright, so tier 1 Blastapopoulos about to appear, and let's try a couple of things. So first off, let's buy these fiery towers, because we know that the fire towers are actually not good because they're gonna fill up his heat. Oh, look at this thing. Wait a minute, so he spawns with a full heat bar. Okay, so it's cooling. Okay, so he's cooling down, right? Alright, there we go. So he spawned, and then we're slowly charging this thing up, it looks like. Wait a minute, we are charging the bar, but he's not taking any damage. What is happening? Oh my god, he's a purple balloon. What am I talking about? About the Dragon's Breath Wizard. Oh no, that's why. Okay, so let's get a Sticky Ninja. Let's see how this thing is gonna work. Oh, wait a minute, look at the range on the Sticky Ninja. This thing is so small. Okay, so we have to be placing the defensive towers around him actually. Wait a minute, so these projectiles from the ninja, they are getting thrown and they're exploding, but they're not doing any damage. Why is that? What is happening with this boss? How are you supposed to beat it? Okay, let's get a sniper. Let's see if the snipers are gonna work. So for example, let's set it to strong. Alright, so the sniper seems to be doing damage. There we go. We get at least a little bit of damage going, but the heat bar is actually kind of filling up. So let's move the sniper on first, and let's see how. Oh my god, what just happened? So we triggered a skull. We have. Oh, look at these fireballs. Alright, so the sniper got hit by a fireball, and then this farm at the bottom. Alright, so we cannot sell the farm, and then this guy, so we cannot sell them. And look at these rocks. Yes, look at these rocks, guys. They're blocking a sight, so our sniper actually cannot. Oh my god, he cannot attack Blastapopoulos until the rocks disappear. Okay, this is gonna be a very fun boss, guys. I don't know what to do versus this boss. So the Sticky Ninja is not working, so maybe let's try the tag zone. Yeah, the tag zone is working. Okay, so that's at least one thing that works for sure. And then we're gonna have another skull proc in a second, and the heat bar fills up, and we have 3 meteors instead of 2. And I'm just thinking, so if the number is gonna keep increasing, maybe we can cheese this mechanic a little bit. Alright, so let me actually sell the sniper. Let's try and cool down Blastapopoulos. So let's buy some. It's probably gonna be the icicles right in the bottom pad one. So let's set this guy on strong. Let's just watch the heat bar. Then buy the icicle and pelt, because why not? Oh, look at this. Let me give it some attack speed. Yes, it's actually cooling down the boss. Okay, so you know what? I'm actually gonna buy this guy, the Summon Phoenix, which I know it's a purple balloon and it doesn't do anything, but I'm gonna buy an MIB. And okay, so more meteors, and let's see how this thing is gonna do. Yeah, look at this thing. So the bar is trying to fill up, but the icicle and pelt is chilling it, and that is why the wizard is doing a lot of damage. Okay, this is gonna be a really fun boss actually. You know what? Let's actually get it to proc, and I'm not sure if we're gonna get it to proc onto this one, but we're gonna do it on the tier 2 for sure. Oh, we're gonna get it to proc for sure. Okay, let's go. So let's see what happens when this bar goes up. So, oh, look at this thing. So fires on top of all of our towers, they are not producing anything, so they just got stunned. And what else? Like, I think all of these DPS effects, they got cleared off off of the boss. So if I buy the Icicle Impale, like, is the Icicle Impale gonna start chilling it down, or do we need to wait? Okay, we need to wait, and then it's gonna chill by itself, but okay, we dealt with it. So that was the tier 1. Alright, so tier 2 is about to appear, and I actually have a lot of ideas for this one. The tier 1 kind of caught me off guard, I'm gonna be honest. So let's actually test the tier 2. So here's what I want to do. I want to test, like, basically all of the towers that are good versus Blastapopoulos, plus some things that I'm kind of noticing along the way. So Blastapopoulos is a fiery boss. So I bought these boomerangs. One of them is gonna have the red hot ranks, which is obviously a fiery based attack, and the other one is gonna be on the top crossbar, so it's just gonna be the glaive. So let me actually see if this makes any difference. So for example, if I sell this guy, and is this the boomerang seems to be doing damage actually to this guy. So the fact that we got the red hot ranks doesn't seem to matter too much. And actually, here's what I wanted to test. I wanted to test the white hot spikes as well. So if we buy the white hot spikes upgrade, is the carpet gonna do down? Yeah, it is. All right, let's test the mat next. So I think that this should work. There's no reason why it shouldn't, but let me just test it. All right, so the mat does work. So we get these meteors again, and look at this thing. So it's stunning the farms. Okay, so basically you're playing the lottery with this thing, as it seems like. So if it's random, then it can hit a tower that's important, or it's just not gonna hit it. So let's actually try like this. So it's going towards where? Towards this farm. So if I sell it, no, it's this one. Oh no, I couldn't sell it. Okay, so I wanted to sell it before it hit actually. Oh, let's try not lose. Let me buy the crossbow master here at the bottom, and let's actually try and do that for the next one. I also wanted to try and get around this mechanic of these fireballs. So what if we just place a bunch of like small towers on the screen, and then maybe some of these guys are gonna eat up the fireballs, because this is like cheap, and especially if you have the monkey city, you can place like a bunch of dark monkeys for free, right? So maybe you can go around the system. So let's see if this is gonna work. No, I don't think it is. So many dark monkeys, but it's still, oh, let me sell this one. Oh no, you cannot sell it. All right, so when the meteor starts traveling, actually that is when I guess the tower becomes locked in. So you cannot kind of sell a tower before the meteor hits, if that makes sense. And also, I'm gonna be honest, these rocks that block vision, they are a little bit annoying. So I guess you want to be defending inside, and then like let's say we defend Blastapopoulos like this. We buy a tag zone, and then we just help the tag zone do its thing. The tag zone is not a good tower, I don't think, because for some reason it is filling up the bar way faster. And you know what? I think it's filling up the bar because it's attacking with a lot of projectiles, if that makes any sense. So when the tag zone attacks, it attacks like, I think it's like 16 projectiles or 32 or something like that. And the more projectiles the tower has, I think the faster it fills up the bar. So you know, towers like tag zone are nice, but they can be a double-edged sword, I guess. So let's cool the boss down actually a little bit. Oh wait, what happened? Oh, we triggered the skull. All right, so when you trigger a skull, it seems like the heat mirror just fills up to the max. Is that a thing? Is this the first thing that we're seeing this, or am I just wrong about that one? There's so much information in one single run. So I guess it's good because, oh, look at that. Oh, look at the pop animation, by the way. It looked amazing. But yeah, we are gonna have a lot more tiers to check this one out, especially how it works versus Paragon. So yeah, this is gonna get interesting for sure. So one of the things that I'm actually noticing is that whenever this guy spawns, he spawns with a full heat bar, and then he starts chilling off, and that's where you can start doing some damage. Okay, so let me buy the Apex Plasma Master, but before we do that, I actually bought a bunch of small dart monkeys, and let's see if we can kind of play around this fireball system, because it seems like once the fireballs latch onto a target, they're gonna keep getting spawned onto that same tower for each skull that you pop. But maybe if we can get these fireballs onto like these other targets, like for example the dart monkeys, let me just place a couple more of these guys as well. Maybe we can cheese the system is what I'm saying. Okay, let me just buy something like this, like a flying fortress, which should have no problems, I guess, in dealing Blastapopoulos. So it's slowly filling out the heat bar, which is exactly what you want to see. So that's really good. And actually, I know that Blastapopoulos is delaying the ability cooldowns. So I'm actually going to use the ability cooldowns that we have. So it's going to be the permacharge ability plus the Plasma Monkey Fan Club. And let's see how we're going to do. Okay, so this thing is just for some reason targeting farms. And oh, look at this thing. It's targeting the most expensive farms only. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, so that's actually really good to know. So how do you prepare for this? I mean, do you just take the hit and then you hope you make enough money from your other farms? I think that's just how we're gonna do this thing. All right, so let me sell the Flying Fortress. Let's buy a Paragon. Let's see how Paragons is. So it's just gonna be a Dart Monkey, and it's not gonna be a high degree, but it's as much as you would need, I guess, for this one, because it's the normal one. First thing is that the Paragons can get affected by fireballs as well, and oh my god, look at the range. You guys see the range onto this boomerang? It's ridiculous. And do Paragons get affected by? Yes, they do. The Paragons also get affected by range reduction. Okay, that's really good to know. But look at this guy's range. Oh my god, that's just so sad. But take a look at these fireballs now. So the fireballs are no longer targeting our most expensive farms. It's just this farm at the bottom. So I guess that was just like a random shot that this guy had. Like that was just the most unlucky thing that can happen to you, I guess. Just have both of your farms getting struck. But maybe the Apex Plasma Master is not even bad versus Blastapopoulos, because he spawns these rocks, and then the rocks are maybe going to contribute contribute into, you know, these balls bouncing around and maybe doing a lot more damage to the boss than usual? Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, Paragons still do seem to be working, and actually the Plasma Master does not seem to be filling out the heat bar that fast. But let's try other Paragons as well. We get an explosion and we get all these rocks around it, and look at the range. No, look at the range of the Legend of the Night. So this tower is stuck in place. Look at the cooldowns. Wait a minute, we haven't even used these abilities and they are on cooldown. They're just coming off cooldown. Okay, so the Blastapopoulos seems to be artificially putting your abilities on cooldown even though you haven't used them. Yeah, that's actually a little bit annoying. And then once the tower gets hit by these fireballs, it cannot move, right? Or is that true? Let me actually, oh my god, it teleported it. It moved the thing around it. Okay, that's interesting, I guess. But yeah, these guys are filling up the heat bar way too fast. So let's try and cool this guy down with an icicle. I mean, what else can you do, guys? Does the icicle ability even work? Like, you need to use ice towers, but the problem with the ice towers is that they're not exactly that useful. So maybe let's try it like this with the super brittle. No, it's gonna pop. It's gonna pop. It's not gonna do anything. Oh, all towers are stunned. This is a little bit of a problem. And if you place a new tower, the new tower has the flame on top of it. Yes, the new tower is stunned as well. Okay, so we couldn't get the Carpet Spikes instant ability cheat. So you have to be very careful not to overcharge this guy. That's really important. Okay, yeah, so I've been playing this boss for a while now. This is tier 4, and I genuinely, you know, don't have a clear idea of what needs to be done versus this boss. This is so weird, and I'm just thinking about the elite. How are we gonna do this? We're gonna need to test things out a lot more than this, it seems like. Let me start selling off these farms because we're not gonna need them anymore. We have a bunch of cash, and I actually wanted to test the Goliath because this boss seems to be the anti-ability boss from what I can tell. Whenever you have an ability against this boss, he's gonna put your abilities on cooldown regardless of whether or not you've used the ability in the first place. And then if you have used the ability, then it's gonna be a lot worse. So that's, you know, the Goliath thingy. You want to be using these abilities with the Goliath, and that's probably not a good idea versus this boss. I don't know, guys. This is looking like a fun one, but it's gonna take a while to figure it out. Okay, so let me get the Goliath. Let's just put a little bit of cash into this thing. Let's just put like 300,000 so we have a little bit of cash left over as well. This is not gonna be like a super high degree, and so I feel like the Goliath, yeah, the Goliath's attacks, I'm gonna sell this temple by the way. The Goliath's attacks are going through, but let me just go for the ability. So the ability is on cooldown. It's not halfway there, but it's about halfway there, and so we triggered a skull, and then what did this thing do? Oh my god, it freezes the ability, but we got hit by a fireball. And so look at this thing, the cooldown is barely going now. Oh my god, no. Okay, you cannot use abilities versus Blastapopoulos. That's really important to know. Alright, but when it comes to the heat bar, this Goliath actually doesn't seem to be, you know, filling the heat bar that fast, I guess. So maybe we can try with, what else do we want to try with? Let's try the Wizard Paragon, because the guy's like a magic Paragon. So let's see how this guy's gonna work before we pop this thing. Let's just give it a lot of cash. Do we sell the Goliath? I think we're gonna sell the Goliath. So it's a degree 5 Wizard Paragon, and it seems like the Wizard is also doing damage to this boss, and it is not overheating it that much, right? I mean, the thing with the Wizard is that it is still like a Paragon that's based on abilities, so I guess this is like a bad choice versus Blastapopoulos as well. And then what else? Let's try the Boomer Paragon. Okay, so let's go like this. Let's buy the Boomer. Let's put a little bit of cash into this guy as well. Let's actually sell the Wizard Paragon while we're at this thing, and let's see how we do. Okay, so these Paragons, really important to just not have Paragons or just towers that rely on abilities, and actually, yeah, there we go. I was gonna need, you know, this thing to get unstunned, but you guys know what we're gonna need. We're gonna need the Ice Paragon for this thing, because this is not working. I don't think. Let's get the Absolute Zero. Let's get the Super Bill as well, and I'm just thinking, how do you want to cool this boss down? So I'm gonna use the Absolute Zero ability, which is gonna give attack speed to these guys, but I don't think that the ice is doing anything versus the higher tiers, especially versus the tier 5, because look at the heat bar, it's not moving. Okay, so that's essentially what you need to do versus Blastapopoulos. So no abilities, or at least use abilities at your own risk. No fire, no laser type of attacks as well. The ice tower is gonna be able to cool it down for the earlier tiers, it looks like, but then for the later tiers, you just need a lot of damage as usual. And then these fireballs and the way they get thrown, I am still not clear on that thing, but it seems to be targeting the important towers. So they might have thought, you know, they might find a way to go around this, you know, spamming a bunch of dark monkeys and just trying to cheese the system. So I think they got that thing covered. But that is gonna be it for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. Thanks again to Ninja Kiwi for the early access, and I'm gonna see you guys very soon.